PacWest Magazine is brought to you in part by Hawaii Tourism Authority. Discover the beauty of the islands at GoHawaii.com. We come to you from California's Central Valley and introduce the Fresno Pacific Sunbirds, one of the PacWest's newest programs. We go to the HPU UH-Hilo volleyball match where Commissioner Hogue presented a special award to the Sea Warriors. And we spotlight the Ahoys, volleyball's dynamic coaching duo at BYU, Hawaii. Welcome to the special edition of PacWest Magazine from the campus of Fresno Pacific University in Fresno, California. Now, FPU is in their second year of membership here in the Pacific West Conference as they transition from NAIA to NCAA Division II. Now let's go learn some more about the proud tradition of the Sunbirds. On this night in Central Cali, a raucous student body mingled with family and friends from all over Fresno jammed the special event center to cheer on their nationally ranked volleyball team. The Sunbirds are recent back-to-back, yeah, that's 4 times, NAIA national champions. And on this night, their boisterous crowd led the home team to a big victory over visiting UH-Hilo. Yet winning in any sport is no stranger to this quaint university. Located in one of the most beautiful parts of California you probably haven't visited. Fresno Pacific, bringing 5 decades of success, now calls the PacWest home. But as we look closer, victories on the court aren't the only thing that makes FPU proud.
Fresno Pacific has always had a rich tradition of really working with students holistically, so growth in all areas, academics, athletically, but also in their Christian walk and their community and leadership. And we just are continuing that excellence to this day, only we're bringing the NCAA tradition to Fresno Pacific. So there's an amping up of rules and a changing of culture, but the underlying commitment to excellence and being outstanding and serving our student athletes remains.
Fresno Pacific calls the Central Valley home, a place with rich history and proud residents with deep roots.
You know, we have a wonderful campus, but we're located in the Central Valley, which is the richest agricultural valley in the world. And even though, you know, some people would think that, you know, it's not the best place to be at, I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. This is home for me since I came from Mexico when I was 11 years old.
Definitely, there's definitely a lot of pride in the valley. A lot of people here, you know, support local sports, and that's great for this region. We actually get, you know, a ton of local media coverage. A lot more than you would see at a bigger market, just because people are so involved and they really take an ownership in, you know, in being from the valley, being from Fresno, and supporting things that are affiliated with Fresno.
Fresno is a really neat area because you have both the agricultural community in a big city. So you can be driving along and think you're in the city, and then you're all of a sudden in an orchard, and the bountiful fruit and produce that we get here, and just the rich traditions and heritage of Fresno. Fresno has lots to offer.
Coaches and student athletes love the sense of place they find at Fresno Pacific. Many of them already call the Valley home and couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
Well, Fresno Pacific has just been everything to me. I went to school here, I played here, was an assistant coach here, and now I'm the head coach. And I love the people here, and you know, I love the small community. You know, they just really embrace our team, and I get to share about my faith, and I get to kind of be a part of these girls' lives as they, you know, transition into adulthood, which is, you know, it's a big, important part.
Probably the biggest reason I came here is because I got to stay close to family, and it's really great having them here every single game and supporting me.
You know, for Hannah, she would like to have gone away to school. There's no secret to that, but when it all came down to it, she wanted to stay home. She liked the fact her grandparents could come to the game. We could come to the game. She knew a lot of people. She loved the coaches here. They embraced her and brought her in and made her part of the team. So, I mean, that was special to her. So that was her final decision to come here.
Under their proud motto, founded on Christ, the Sunbirds are serious about their religious origins. And you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone here who doesn't commit themselves to that higher power.
For me, faith is important because I ended up here for a reason, and every struggle through my life I've ended up going to where I need to be, and having faith in God has got me to the point in my life where I'm ended up in the place where I'm successful and I'm thriving. And same for the girls on this team. God brought us all here together for a reason, and it's all part of His plan.
As we speak in faith circles and religious circles, we're a Christian institution, liberal arts college. We're the David, and we oftentimes face Goliaths. It was the case when I was a player here when we used to play USF, NCAA Division I national champions. Our coach was one that believed that we got to go after the highest level of competition, and we did. And we've done the same thing since I've taken over. We try to schedule as tough a schedule as you can. And because we are a small private institution in the Central Valley, many people haven't even heard of us. But when we compete on the pitch, on the courts, or even now on the pool, we're a force to be reckoned with. I think our programs are well established nationally now, to where anyone that wants to play us knows that they're in for a good match. And so, we're open to playing anyone in the country, anywhere basically, and excited to be a part of this NCAA experience.
The cozy campus, with its lush greenery, also boasts a vibrant student body, whose commitment to athletics and academics is only rivaled by their school spirit.
Basically, today we're having all of student government put on a big kickoff event called our Fall Tailgate. And so what it is it's for the volleyball girls, as well as intramural football, as well as guys soccer. And so we're having food and different fun activities such as like popcorn and splatter painting, body painting, get all riled up for the game. We're having it catered by one of our members of our team. His family is being so gracious and sponsoring all of our food tonight, so we're really excited.
We have just worked so hard for the last year and a half to be fully integrated into the Fresno Pacific community. So the understanding that our athletes are also students, and they're full members of the community, and so they are working hard to make sure that they are being good community members and supporting others on campus, and they're getting the support from their campus community. So we had a great tailgate, and the students came out, and it was for our home soccer match and our home volleyball match, and as you can see, we have a great crowd.
Just this past summer, the Sunbirds got a brand new floor and court design, a hallmark for the program as they enter the new world of NCAA Division II.
We really wanted to provide an outstanding environment for our students to compete in. So we had an opportunity to redo the floor. We had a little hiccup last year with the floor. And so we had an opportunity, and we created this beautiful floor. We ordered new chairs for them. We're hanging new banners and signs. And just really creating a place they want to play. And then having our community, both our Fresno Pacific community and our local Fresno community, come out and cheer and support them, just gives them a great home environment and a home advantage.
It's just a great process to go through to identify some things that we wanted to change, and really develop a strategy with where we wanted to go with the court and how we wanted to brand our university. And that's why you see all the orange around everywhere. We have decided that orange is going to be, our focal point and our color, and we really want that to be the color that fans recognize as FPU, and everybody in the conference recognizes as FPU, because everybody just about has blue somewhere in their color scheme. And so orange is a color that really pops and stands out and is just different from everybody else.
Now with 13 schools in 3 states, the Pacific West Conference is excited to number Fresno Pacific amongst its prestigious members. Success on the field and in the classroom. We take pride in calling ourselves the PacWest.
I chose Division II because athletes graduate at a higher rate.
I can stay closer to home
and be an important part of the community.
I chose Division II because I can double major
and take part in campus activities.
I chose Division II because classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship.
I chose Division II for all these reasons and more.
I chose.
I chose.
I chose. I chose Vision 2.
Imagine collaborating with a diverse group of people from different backgrounds who all share common values. A place where giving back to the community is not only encouraged, but expected. Where your professor is not just a teacher, but a mentor. Imagine a place where individual leadership is prized. Imagine Chaminade University.
Daily, faculty, staff, board, and administrators pray for your release into this remarkable culture and the cultures of our world and the difference you will make. Tonight, that's really what we're celebrating. Let me welcome you to this, the 113th year of commencement at Azusa Pacific University.
You're watching PacWest Magazine from the campus of Fresno Pacific University in California's beautiful Central Valley. Now, the Golden State is one of 3 states that the PacWest calls home. There's also Utah and Hawaii. And let's go check out one of these amazingly beautiful places right now.
The PacWest women's volleyball season started with a huge matchup on Oahu between 2 teams who had played extremely well during the early non-conference schedule. Hawaii Pacific was the host team, and the Sea Warriors had gone an impressive 6-2 in non-conference against some of the top teams in the West. The visitors were from the Big Island, a 5-0 University of Hawaii-Hilo Vulcan squad coached by former Hawaii assistant Tino Reyes. Both teams were hoping to make some noise on this big night in Honolulu. But there was more than just volleyball on the minds of the home crowd. I was on hand to pass out the PacWest Community Engagement Award to HPU for their outstanding work in the community by their teams and their Student Athlete Advisory Committee a year ago.
HPU is the winner of this year's PacWest Community Engagement Award. I want you to stand and give them a round of applause. Community Engagement Award winners. What a round of trophy, everybody. This is your award, HPU.
I was glad that we could present that here at an all-Hawaii game, and we're excited to have that at HPU and in Hawaii. And it was so good that some of the kids were out here to receive that. I'm not sure what's been done at other schools, and that just kind of came to us. But they're the ones that won it. We had teams from every one of our programs. We had individuals out, involved in our community, and learning how to give back.
Hawaii Pacific's award came after the Sea Warriors had gone up 2-0 against the visitors. HPU looked very strong and dominating in winning the first 2, 25-16 and 25-17. But there's a reason you play 3 out of 5, and the Vulcans proved their mettle in games 3 and 4. Hilo taking the 3rd set 25-18 and setting the stage for a classic in game number 4. Deep into the 20s both teams went, well past 25-25. Here's an example of the incredible battle for the 4th set between HPU and UH-Hilo. Hilo finally got the 2-point margin it needed, winning in breathless fashion by a score of 30-28 in a set that many local fans will remember for a long time. That would mean the match would go down to the decisive 5th set. And here, it would be HPU finding its rhythm again, coming on strong to pull out the match victory by a score of 15-10, winning 3 sets to 2. It was lucky win number 7 for the host Sea Warriors on the season, but head coach Daryl Capus said it was not an easy one at all.
Game 5 is 50-50. I just think we started off strong. We just played to win the 5th game as opposed to sitting back. If we would have sat back, we weren't going to win that 5th game. I mean, we took it to them in the very beginning and played with, we're going to go after you in this 5th game.
Vulcan's coach Tito Reyes was also impressed with the high level of play by both teams.
A tough way to start the season. You know, HPU is a good team, and the first 2 games looked like we were going to get out of here in 3. And lo and behold, our team grinded it out the next 2 games, and HPU played really well again in the 5th game. So I think HPU helped us out a little bit. We got some calls, and but our kids just kind of grinded it out. It was a tough match, and HPU pulled it out, so that was a good win for them.
You know, that's just one of the things that we've got to learn, and then we talked about after the match is, okay, you lost the 3rd game and you had control of the 4th, and once again you did not finish when you needed to finish, and that's what's really frustrating is that those kinds of mistakes come back and burn teams. I've seen enough of that over the years, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Well, faced with that adversity, you came back strong in the 5th. In fact, built up a big lead, and then it looked like it might slip again, and then you finally finished off.
Yeah, I mean, that was positive by us. I was sweating the entire time trying to figure out how to continue to be positive with our team. I turned to my assistants when we went to game 4, and I said, I'm just going to be super positive from now on. I'm not. There was a lot of things that we could have done better, and then I was like, forget it. I'm just going all positive because they need that at this time.
Oh, I think the PacWest is the toughest league in the West, for sure. Yeah, I think all the coaches have done a good job recruiting and done a good job in the gym, so it's going to be tough sledding the whole way.
So on a night for awards, the Victory Award would be earned by Hawai'i Pacific University, as the Sea Warriors hoped this early win would help propel them to NCAA regional consideration as the long PacWest season moved forward.
I want tradition.
Access to what I need.
Great professors. Sports I love.
A smaller feel. To be more marketable.
To make a difference. To excel.
To be noticed.
Notre Dame de Namur University, opening doors and engaging minds since 1851.
I want guidance.
Inspiration.
A real community.
My bachelor's.
My master's.
To finish my degree. On time.
Notre Dame de Namur University. Explore, engage, excel.
Welcome back to PacWest Magazine. This time we're on the campus of Fresno Pacific University in beautiful Central California. FPU is one of 13 member schools of the Pacific West Conference. And on one of those campuses, you're bound to find our commissioner, Bob Hogue. So let's go check in with the commish right now.
BYU-Hawaii has a very strong women's volleyball tradition. Over the years, the Seasiders have won 10 national titles, both at the NAIA and NCAA Division II level, and numerous PacWest championships. Wilfred Navalta was the head coach during all these title runs, but the legendary mentor retired this past season after guiding the Seasiders to the national championships and garnering National Coach of the Year honors. Taking his spot on the bench this year is BYU-Hawai'i interim head coach Mona Ahoy, who says she is proud to follow in Coach Navalta's footsteps.
It's just awesome. And, you know, still today, we miss him, but, you know, we try to run the same system that he ran. And if I have questions, I know he's there. I kept his assistant, longtime assistant coach, Jay Okoye, you know, just to, you know, keep reminding us on, you know, keeping the system and within the program and stuff, so it's nice.
And what's it like, you know, he was up there watching?
Yeah, I know. It's nice to have him back. He pops in the office once in a while and just kind of, you know, see how things are going, and it's very comforting. It was a blessing to be with him, play for him for 4 years, and then coach with him side by side for 4 years.
From the start of this season, Ahoy, a longtime assistant at BYU-Hawaii and a former Seasider All-American, has the Seasiders playing at the highest level, and once again her team is high in the national rankings. She has already made her own stamp on the program by hiring her own daughter, former Division I volleyball star Camilla Ahoy, as one of her assistants. We sat down with both members of the family after a recent BYU-Hawaii victory to discuss the dynamics of their program, their relationship, the goals they have for their team, and their own personal stories.
It's the best thing in the world. I've always wanted to do it. When I came back from college, it was one of my dreams to coach with her because she's my role model. Everything I've learned is mostly from her through my volleyball career and coaching.
I told her that I was going to do the rotation chart and that I didn't want her to keep any stats or anything because she runs our whole offense.
That was a surprise for me, but I guess she gives me a lot of leeway because I went to Oregon State and I have experience in that, and her strength is defense. So to take load off of her, she gave me that responsibility, which I think is, yeah, you're right. It's a lot of, you have to have a lot of respect to do that.
It's a blessing to know that she knew the system. You know, we coached together in club, and for 3 years now since she finished playing at Oregon State. After playing here, I coached her in high school. It's the same system that we ran here, so she's very familiar with it, and that's why I told her, you run that offense because you know what is expected.
Both mother and daughter were outstanding athletes back in the day, and both were former athletes of the year in both basketball and volleyball when they each attended nearby Kahuku High School. Mona was an All-American at BYU-Hawaii in women's volleyball and led the Seasiders to 2 national titles. Camilla was a volleyball star at Division I Oregon State before returning home to share her knowledge at Division II.
She actually wants me to be a head and her assistant because she loves doing the admin and I love doing more coaching. But I don't know, I feel like I'm young.
We're still involved with the community, coaching young players from 8 years old to 18, and you know, just very involved. We love our community, the support, and we like to see them out here. It's nice to see a lot of them here.
Obviously I'm a little biased, but she's the best mom in the world. She's patient. She understands a lot of things that I don't understand about myself. She is a person that basically how she coaches. She's kind of like a mom to all of the girls, which that's why it's so easy for the girls to talk with her, communicate what they're going through, especially this time in their life.
She loves basketball, and you do too.
She does, which is, I was actually surprised that she went into coaching volleyball, because growing up she was a lot better in basketball. But I guess she thought she could contribute more, give more through coaching volleyball.
You decided not to play collegiate basketball. Why?
I just felt like I had a better future in volleyball, and my brothers also told me, you know, I think you should go for volleyball. So I was like, okay. So I just stuck with volleyball, and for 4 years here at BYU, every day I'd go to volleyball practice, and right after I'd play basketball with the guys.
Tell us what it's like to win a national title.
Ooh, first 2 years, it's just a good feeling. You know, freshman, young, starting, We had really good leaders, our captains back then, and just kind of similar to this year's team. We had the juniors during my freshman year that was our leaders, and now we have juniors. We only have one senior, who are pretty much the leaders of the team, which is our 3 Taiwanese players and stuff. So it's pretty similar to, you know, what we had back then.
And do you have good memories of winning those national titles? Do you remember, you know, what it was like? You know, it wasn't that many years ago.
We'll never forget that. The feeling, yes, it was really nice. And just to bring home a title to our community, it's nice. And even to come here and brag to the girls about our banners up here, and you know, just tell them, you know, it's a good feeling. You'll never forget it.
And you have a chance now as a head coach. You've done it as a player. You've done it as an assistant. Now you have a chance to raise one of those banners as a head coach. Think it's going to happen soon?
Hopefully. I'm just going to pray. Hopefully. That's what we're shooting for.
Head coach Mona Ahoy and assistant Camilla Ahoy, mother and daughter, are 2 key reasons why the BYU-Hawai'i Seasiders continue their proud women's volleyball tradition in the PacWest.
We prepare student athletes and all our students to be global leaders in a very diverse society. And that's why we think there's a perfect match between Holy Names University and the NCAA. Go Hawks!
It doesn't look like your average university, because it isn't. Just 12 miles from San Francisco, it's an urban oasis where students go beyond the classroom, helping businesses become sustainable, fighting breast cancer, athletes who excel and serve the community. And here, you don't just study history, you help make it.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of PacWest Magazine right here on OC16. Hey, if you want to watch more of our show, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that can be found at PacWest TV at thepacwest.com. That's thepacwest.com, and there you can also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. For the Commissioner, Bob Hogue, I'm Wayne Coito. I'll see you next week on PacWest Magazine.
PacWest Magazine is brought to you in part by Hawaii Tourism Authority. Discover the beauty of the islands at GoHawaii.com.